how is it that you guys are becoming, or how are you guys going to fulfill that mission of being the most loved payments company? I mean, what is going to be so different or give you that ability to do so that everybody else is missing?
So, I mean, the way we look at it is, if you going back to your reference with your parents with the restaurant, so we definitely target kind of more traditional businesses. So if you think about, dentists and lawyers and restaurants and auto mechanics and a lot of businesses to this day that are still, they're not necessarily using the new kind of Silicon Valley payments company. They're very much using kind of like their bank-based processors, like the one you mentioned, and Chase and TD Merchant Services and all those ones, right? And the way we always looked at it is that what kind of service, if we could build a service that was truly uncompromised for those SMBs, what would that look like? And we narrowed it down to three things, which is pricing. And I'll actually start with pricing. I know a lot of companies they think, if the product is differentiated enough or anything, pricing doesn't matter. But the reality is that in payments, how much you pay for, accepting those credit cards, those debit cards, those bank payments, and all those things, really matters. That has a huge impact on the bottom line of that small business, right? Yeah. So you have to find a way to offer them really, really great pricing while still being able to build a viable business. And the way you do that is you build your entire payment infrastructure from scratch yourself, directly on top of the rails, and you don't, we don't go through any kind of third parties. A lot of companies that try to tack on payments, they're doing it, they're kind of reselling or tacking on, a Stripe or a PayPal or whatever is the case, right? Okay. Versus for us, we built it directly ourselves. And what that allowed us to do is that because it's built ourselves, we get to, whatever margin is generated, we get to keep Therefore, we can have very kind of aggressive pricing offered to our customers and still maintain a good margin to be able to grow our business. So that was pillar number one. Pillar number two was great customer service. Once again, customer service can seem like, in the world of startups, they're like, customer service, that gets in the way of massive scale, right? And it's like, no. This is a financial service. This is the heartbeat of a business. This matters. They need, if you're processing payments every month, this is your cash flow. This is everything. And you need to be able to pick up the phone and talk to somebody that's competent on the other line. Right. So for us, we decided, let's build a customer service team and treat them like rock stars so that they can treat our customers like rock stars. I mean, they are the touch point of our entire brand when somebody calls in, right? So that's the second pillar that we said, this really, really matters. No call centers across the world. We'll obviously use technology to make the service scale and feel very self-service and touchless. But when you do need to talk to somebody, you're going to talk to somebody really great. And then finally, the third thing was, once again, what does that SMB want in an uncompromised solution? That's that digital first. So instant sign up, no paperwork, great software that's built into the experience. And nobody in the space was taking all three of those approaches and combining it together. What if we took the best of all worlds and left the ugly away from the service? And we combined those three things. It took us essentially a decade to build, but that's what the new Helcim is, and that's why it's been growing so crazy, because ultimately we just gave small businesses what they wanted all along, and that's it.
Interesting. Yeah, it's some of the support service that you get out of the other organizations is just horrendous, right? And I mean, it's like sometimes it's amazing. I think that so many companies fail to give great support when it's like you could take a problem, an absolute issue, something that somebody's about to bounce out of your organization, and turn around and make them a complete advocate for who you are just by great support. So that's cool.
You have to look at your customer service. Is it a cost center? Yes, to a certain degree, but is it also a marketing expense, right? If you're doing it right. I mean, I look a lot to a company like Zappos, the shoe company out of Nevada that ended up being bought by Amazon, but they have one of the world's best customer service experience, and it's just about the attitude I think it really starts with how the company views customer service. I think too many companies see it as a burdensome line item, and they see it as the lowest common denominator of their team structure. And for us, we're like, no, they are rock star, and they're front and center to our team.